Hello everyone and welcome to this month's episode of What's for Dinner. I'm joined by Erin today because this recipe is hers. It is a baked mac and cheese, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
Very good. All right, well I'm looking forward to it. Let's get cooking. Okay, so before we started rolling, Erin took the time to boil some macaroni noodles, or are they a different kind of noodles?
Yes, they have a name. It's on the box right over there.
Over there. They are
Celatini or something.
Celentani.
Yeah. So
I
they're
don't know.
pretty and they're spirals and I like them.
They're spirals and they're ribbed a bit, so.
Yes, they're pretty.
Interesting, okay. So those are already cooked, so what are we going to do next?
So now we're going to preheat the oven because
Okay.
this gets baked. So we're going to preheat it to
Oops,
400
how about I hit
degrees.
bake? 400.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, now we're going to start making the cheese sauce.
Cheese sauce.
Yes.
Okay.
That goes on macaroni to make mac and cheese.
Makes sense.
So we're going to open up this can of cream of celery soup.
Okay, I will do that right here.
I'm just going to turn this on.
I'm going to adjust this because I open cans differently, and apparently the way that I open cans sometimes causes the label to show up inside of the food. This is cream of celery, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
You could use, I know some people do cream of mushroom in it, or there's other people who use the Campbell's cheese soup. So
Ooh, like the cheddar cheese
yeah,
soup?
so you
Okay.
could do either one, but this is how I know how to do it, and so this is what I like, so this is what I do.
Alright, so we have 1 can of cream of celery. I'll give that to you.
Alright, so can I have a little spatula behind
You
me?
may. There you are.
Alright, thank you. So we're just going to pour this in here.
And do we have to add any water?
We're going to be adding milk.
Okay,
so
that
as you
must
can
be
see
what's in
here, yes.
this beaker, as we've seen before.
This is my lovely measuring beaker that I love so much. Okay.
And this looks like about a half cup.
It's a full cup, actually.
This is a full cup? Okay.
Yeah,
This
so
over here.
I like to use a whisk for this part because you don't want this to be chunky. You want it to be smooth. Okay, measure beaker back
As
to
well,
you.
okay.
So now I'm just going to whisk this together.
And we're on what, like medium low it looks
Yeah, we
heat-wise?
can probably turn it up a little bit because the milk is cold. So I kind of like whisk it around until we start to get this part sort of smooth. And then next we'll add some black pepper. So can you give me that? We're going to do 1/4 of a teaspoon of this black pepper, which we
1
have
teaspoon
grated.
as well, okay.
1/4 teaspoon, yes.
There you go. 1/4 teaspoon, I
1/4
apologize.
teaspoon, yeah. And it depends too on what kind of cheese you have. If you have a cheese that has pepper in it, you might want to skip this step. Or if you just really like pepper, you could add it. But I just think it adds a nice flavor.
Now, are we cooking this just until it starts to boil? Or?
Yeah, we're just going to kind of let it get warm because you don't want this all to be cold. You're going to start adding that cheese next. Now, traditionally, this recipe is made with Cooper Sharp cheese. But here in Ohio, for some strange reason, I can't find Cooper Sharp cheese.
We're gonna work with what we got. So
Yes.
instead we got
But at a
this.
local market, we found this lovely, I think it's old-fashioned.
This is
sharp
old-time
cheddar.
sharp cheddar.
Yeah, it seems to have a similar flavor and texture. So we're going to go ahead and use that.
And this is a pound. Are we using all of this?
We are going to use
Use
all
of this?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. So we'll be back in a moment when it's time to add the cheese. Is that correct?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
good. I turned it up a little bit to let it warm up faster.
Okay, so we'll be back when it's time to add the cheese. Okay, as you can maybe possibly clearly see, we are smoking it up over here with this cream of celery soup.
Steaming.
Now you said we're gonna add all this cheese.
We are, but we're going to do it slowly because
Okay.
we don't want these like giant pieces of cheese just like
Okay.
hanging out. You
So how
want
about this? How about I give them to you 2 slices at a
yeah,
time?
that's usually about what I do. Is kind of like mix it in here because you kind
Okay.
of want to give it a chance to dissolve.
All right, so I'll hand it to you 2 slices at a time.
Like, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Perfect. Just kind of let it start to melt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like the whisk is really important for this because it sort of breaks stuff up.
I think what we'll do is we'll just make this a time lapse.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
enjoy a time lapse of us making cheese sauce. Okay, that took significantly less time than I think both of us thought.
Yes.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take, this is a pound of those Celentine, whatever they
Yes.
were, Celentani
Yes.
noodles,
Yes.
and we're going to dump them into the sauce.
We are, but what I always like to do when I do this recipe is you kind of have to gauge how much pasta is going to be able to be coated by your sauce, because depending on the type of cheese you're using, the slices are different sizes. So it's going to make variable amounts of sauce.
Oh, the slices of cheese.
Right.
Okay.
So it's going to make variable amounts of sauce, and you don't want there's nothing worse than dry mac and cheese. So we're going to kind of like add this.
So let's do this. Let's do this. I will pour in.
Yes.
And then you tell me when to stop.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Perfect. And you want to make sure when you cook your pasta that it's like al dente, because it's going to be going in the oven with this sauce.
Not a lot left.
Yeah, it's actually looking pretty good. Keep going.
Okay.
Okay, let's stop right there.
Stop
I think
there.
that should be good.
We used almost all of it. There's only a little bit left in here.
We did, but you want to make sure that you still have like liquid, because
Right.
it's kind of absorbed.
Yes.
Oh, we got noodles stuck in the
That's
whisk.
okay.
Fabulous. Okay. I'm going to just set this back here, and we're going to turn this off for just a minute. So now it's time for our next step.
Okay, so we're gonna reset here real quick just to get the next step ready. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay, Erin said she wants me to do this part. So what do I need to do?
Switch sides now. Okay.
What do I need to do?
So this is going to be, you have a breadcrumb topping that we're going to put on top of here. So now
Okay.
we have 2 tablespoons of butter. And I really like breadcrumbs, so we have a cup of breadcrumbs.
Okay, so I just melt this in here?
Exactly.
Okay, well you turn the heat off. So
I did, just because I didn't want
Put the
it
heat back
to
on.
be
it's okay.
sitting there without anything on it. These are panko breadcrumbs, but you could do any kind of breadcrumbs you want, like an Italian seasoned one or Parmesan
Are those
one.
Italian seasoned? I thought they were.
I think they might be, but they're panko breadcrumbs. They're like that crispier texture. I really like them
Okay.
because I think they add something to like the gooiness of the mac and cheese, and then you have this. So
Are we just like, not like toasting these?
sort of like the goal pretty much is to like get them coated with the butter, because we're gonna put them on top of this when it goes in the oven.
Okay.
And they'll kind of brown on their own when they're in the oven, but
Right.
you have to have the butter on them in order for them to like brown nicely.
Okay.
You kind of have to do this step ahead of time so that you get a nice brown on them without them burning when they're in the oven.
Okay. And then what's the size of that again? How much is in there?
It's a cup.
1 cup.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you add other spices like paprika
yeah.
or pepper or Italian seasoning?
Sure,
If you
if
wanted
you
to.
want to. That's the fun thing about this recipe, is that you can kind of make it your own however you want.
Okay.
This is like the basic version, but
Right.
you could definitely like,
Right.
I've heard of people doing like Mexican mac and cheese.
That sounds delicious.
Where you add like taco seasoning to it. So
All right, we
you
are
can do
good.
a number of things really.
We
Okay,
are good.
so now we're just gonna sprinkle these in here, and you're gonna kind of mix them around.
You want me to mix them around?
Yeah, just mix them
Okay.
around, kind of like coat them. We're gonna let them get a tiny bit toasty, and then we will put everything all together in that pan over there.
Okay, they're pretty much coated in butter now, so do I just kind of like let them set in here, or?
Yeah, let's let them set for just a couple minutes, kind of let the toast get started, and then we'll transfer everything into that other pan.
So we have a 13 by 9 pan right
Yes,
here,
I think that's the size
and
it
some
is.
cooking spray.
Sure. And you don't have to spray it a ton, just enough, because you want to make sure, especially your corners, like things don't stick. So we'll just do kind of light spray here.
Okay, so we'll be back when it's time to put the mac and cheese and the breadcrumbs into the pan. Okay, the breadcrumbs have been toasted. We're now ready to put everything together. So, just so that you all can see this and that we can work together, I'm gonna hold the pan here. I'll take that as well.
Sure, thanks.
And then all I want you to do is just go ahead and pour it in here.
Okay, just gonna
All right.
starting to come. Oh yeah, there we go. Good one.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
No, we're good. We're good actually.
Good, okay.
Yep, we just have to kind of scrape all the rest of the goodness inside of the bowl here.
Okay, here, why don't you take that?
Here, yes. I'll make sure you get all your cheese sauce. This is key.
You don't want any of that going to waste.
No, we don't waste cheese sauce. No.
Okay, I'm gonna set this down real quick. Can I have that, please?
Kind of, I was gonna say we need to even it out just
I'm
a little
gonna
bit.
do that
Yes,
right
please.
here.
Thank
You get those breadcrumbs ready and I'll
Yes.
even this out.
you. Perfect. Like they kind of have a light toast on them, so we kind of started the toasting process, and we're gonna finish the toasting process in the oven when it's on top of the mac and cheese.
That looks pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that looks great. Okay.
All right. You go ahead with the breadcrumbs
Yes. So I'm just gonna kind of go ahead and evenly distribute this.
as evenly as possible.
Yeah, it's not an exact science, but it's delicious. So
I'm sure it will be. It looks very good. So once this is done, we're then gonna bake it at 400 degrees for how long?
we will start at 15 minutes.
15 minutes. I
So
will
into
take
the oven we
this.
shall go.
I'll take this over here. Open the oven,
Yes.
and in it goes. Very good. And we will be back in about 15 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Erin just looked at it and you said it got her approval, so I
Yes.
think we're ready to go.
Also
So-
delicious.
I'll give you, do you want both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna be hot.
There you are. All right, here we go.
Let's go. Yes.
Oh, look at that bubbly bubbliness.
Yes. So excited.
Just set it on the stove.
That looks
very good.
It sure does. Okay,
Yep,
let's
push
push
that in.
this button. There we go. We can really turn that
Turn
off.
the oven off. This looks very nice.
Crispy.
So why don't we go ahead, plate it up,
Yeah.
and try it for everybody.
Yeah, sounds good.
Here we go.
So kind of the point of baking it is just to thicken the cheese sauce a little bit more and to get your breadcrumbs nice and crispy. It should still be a little, like the cheese sauce should not be like congealed. It should be like it is right now, nice and like a little bit runny yet, but thickened up.
Those
That
breadcrumbs
looks awesome.
smell
They
fantastic.
do. Oh my goodness, yes.
Let's show the people it.
Yeah, it's pretty. It looks really good.
Looks pretty good. There
Nice
you go.
swirly pasta.
Swirly, however you say the name of this pasta. Okay, we ready to try this?
I think so.
All right, I want to get some of the breadcrumb.
Absolutely.
I want to get, I have like a
Like a little crispy noodle
crispy
there.
noodle. Yeah, this is really steamy.
I know. Very warm.
Last thing I want to do is burn myself
Yes.
like I did on a previous one.
Yeah, we're ready.
Here we go.
Here we go. Cheers. Mm.
Mmm. Mmm.
Okay, so it's definitely a little different than the Cooper cheese, but it's good. I really
good.
like it.
Those breadcrumbs really make it good.
They do, don't they? They really add something.
You really have a nice even balance of the cheese and the celery soup. I love that celery soup taste you have with this.
It's not like super strong.
No,
It's like a nice base for the cheese.
it's really good. Well, thank you all for watching this episode of What's for Dinner. Thank you again, dear, for offering up another recipe for us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hopefully you'll join us again in a future episode with some more.
Sounds good.
Awesome. If you all have a recipe suggestion for me, you can leave it below in the comments, or you can fill out the Google form, which is found in the description below. Thank you all again for watching. Take care, God bless, and we'll see you all next time.
Yum.
This is so good. Love it.
Very cool.